What is going on, people? This is yours truly, JONETH PIPTNE. And before the start of the official podcast, I just want you to go and check out this young new artist called GlooGlock and his new hit single For Real featuring Jack Boy. Now, the official video is available right now on YouTube, so you can go check it out right now. And the video was shot and directed by Dalen Production. Now, if you do have a perfect song and you're a rapper or a singer and you just don't have a video to go with it, you can call up Dalen Production, and I'm going to give you that number right now. That number to call is 815-541-7452 for booking inquire. And then you have a chance not only expand your music, but expand your horizon with the music that you are bringing to the table. And once again, that number is 815-541-7452. And I will be leaving a link in the description down below. So now you'll be able to have access to his music. And also, if you want to call Dalen Production, you can as well. But now, on to the official podcast. What is going on, people? This is JONETH PIPTNE, and I am back with another podcast. Today, I'm going to be talking about Russell Wilson and the chances of him coming to Chicago. And I'm going to be reading off a few columns that I've read over time, and I'm just going to be reacting to them, basically, and be letting you know how I feel about them. And also rumors that Tariq Cohen has also tried to recruit Russell Wilson as well, and that is one of the reasons why he has added the Chicago Bears to the list of teams that he wants to play for. So we're just about to get into it right now. Now I'm just going to start it off right now and say that when I first heard about the possibility of Russell Wilson coming to Chicago, I was absolutely ecstatic to hear about it, basically, until I read more into it and found out that basically Chicago is one of the several teams that he rather basically play for. And once I heard that, then I kind of went like, okay, I guess. I'm like, the chance of him coming to Chicago now has dwindled a little bit for me. I'm always usually optimistic about stuff like that. I guess that's the reason why I always believed in Mitchell Trubisky. Well, when he was with the Bears, I don't know if he coming back. Most likely not. But anyways, basically, when I found out that he was coming, possibly could come here, I was like, oh hell yeah. But then hearing about it after that, knowing that the Dallas Cowboys, New Orleans Saints, the Las Vegas Raiders, the Miami Dolphins, and the New York Jets are also possibilities. That's when I was like, now that seemed kind of rough. Now, overall, I do know that Chicago Bears possibly could be the best place for him to go to because he's with a established defense. No, matter of fact, now I think about it, because New Orleans Saints actually would be the best possible place for him to go because he will be on a team that still had a dominant defense just like the Bears, but also had a way better offense, a better running back, better receiving core, better offensive line. There's not much more you can ask for. The Bears still don't have a good offensive line. We don't know how the offensive line is going to play next year. The receiving core is in question right now because we don't know if Allen Robinson coming back. And after that, all you have is Darnell Mooney, and Cole Kmet is still in development right now. Yeah, you do have David Montgomery, but like I said before, you do not know how the offensive line is going to play out, if they're going to play like they did the last 6-7 games of the season, or are they going to play like they did the previous 10 when they couldn't really do much at all, except for the first maybe 2 games of the season when they blocked well and then just fell apart after that. So right now I'm just going to read this column to you guys. And the column is from the Chicago Tribune, and the columnist is Brad Briggs. And it starts off saying Russell Wilson will reportedly has the Chicago Bears on the short list, but would Seattle Seahawks actually trade their franchise quarterback, and at what cost? Now, pretty much, when I thought about it, in order to be able to get Russell Wilson, you're basically going to have the same deal that the Lions had with the Rams. Several first round picks. And because how good Russell Wilson is, because he actually is better than Matt Stafford, you might wind up having to give away a very good player as well in order to acquire a player like a Russell Wilson. They might require for you to give away a Kyle Fuller or Khalil Mack or Akeem Hicks or possibly Danny Trevathan. Now, if you can't find some more linebackers that can gel with your linebacker core and put some more depth in there, then I'll be more willing to give away a 32-year-old Danny Trevathan than, even though Khalil Mack is about the same age, he's still more of a force than Danny Trevathan is now, and definitely don't want to give away Akeem Hicks or Kyle Fuller. So that would be the type of deal that you have to make for him. But I'm finna get more deeper into the column now. News for Ryan Pace and his quest to find a quarterback is that Russell Wilson, who has a full no trade clause in his contract with the Seattle Seahawks, reportedly will consider playing for the Chicago Bears. Turning fantasy bringing Bronco Nazorski retired number 3 jersey out of retirement to give to Wilson into reality is the difficult part. Okay. Now adding Wilson to the mix at whatever exuberant price will energize the Bears and give them a caliber quarterback that they never had, at least in the modern era. Now, paired with a defense that remains good, certainly better than what Seattle have, the Bears would be squarely in the mix in the NFC race. Now, The Athletic reported Thursday on the growing divide between Wilson and the Seahawks, and ESPN's Adam Scheffler listed the Cowboys, New Orleans Saints, the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Bears as teams that Wilson will consider. While nothing, the player has not asked for a trade from the team, but previously reports had also listed the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets as possibilities as well. And that was something that, of course, I previously just said. And then we're going to move on to the next column, which is Tariq Cohen being listed as one of the people that is trying to recruit Russell Wilson. Now on to the column about Tariq Cohen trying to basically attract Russell Wilson to the Bears, and he's reacting to it. Okay, the Russell Wilson trade rumors are heating up, and now it appears that Chicago Bears are in the mix for a potential blockbuster deal. Wilson has yet to demand a trade, according to ESPN's Adam Scheffler, which of course has been said multiple times already. Were a deal to take place, though, the Seattle Seahawks quarterback reportedly has 4 preferred landing spots, Chicago just being one of them, which is the reason why I highly doubt that he's going to be coming to Chicago, sadly. Wish he could, wish he did. If it does happen, I'll be happy, but I don't think it's going to happen. But Bears fans haven't yet had much to be excited about in regards to quarterback play these past few seasons. Wilson wouldn't not only solve the quarterback problem, but he can instantly turn the Chicago Bears into a Super Bowl contender. Running back Tariq Cohen is well aware of the trade rumors involving Wilson and the Bears, and he's tagged the Seahawks quarterback in the latest tweet. Take a look. Okay, let's see what the look say. You called, bro. That's what he sent to him. Okay, I guess. It's hard to believe how poorly the Seahawks have managed the situation involving their franchise quarterback, but there's still time to try and salvage the situation, which that's another thing that can happen. He can easily just wind up staying with Seattle as well. Now, Wilson has 2 main sources of frustration. First, he's tired of being left out of Seattle's decision making. Second, he's tired of getting hit so often during games. Now, to me, part of it is on him because he's taking off in the pocket at times where he still got time. But at the same time, Seattle offensive line is like real bad, but he does run into a lot of sacks himself. So I will say that, and I won't make it, and I won't be like, come on now. But also now, the Seahawks could solve both problems by involving Wilson in the team's 2021 draft process. Seattle's priority this offseason has to be to build a better offensive line capable of giving Wilson ample time in the pocket. Doing so could also help relieve tension between Wilson and the Seahawks front office. Yeah, that is true. Now, if they do decide to do that, then it's pretty much over with. He's going to stay in Seattle. But the story does continue. The Bears, meanwhile, should sell the house and try to acquire Wilson. It's worth a shot at the very least. Oh wow, they probably talking about giving everybody away. If that's the case, I don't know what they think this is. Come on now, they can't be doing that. But that's basically now the full story of the column. They basically saying if you really want Wilson, and give the Seahawks whatever they want, and that means giving away almost maybe 2, 3 first round picks plus maybe a player. This what is Russell Wilson. They know the Bears is desperate, and they willing to and they know the Bears might go for it because Carson Wentz. they wanted 2 first round picks because they knew the Bears was desperate. But when it went to other teams, it didn't happen. It was second and third round picks instead. But everyone is gonna offer the Bears like a wicked price because they're gonna want one of their players, and they're gonna basically take what the Bears would have had. Basically, this is what's gonna happen. And they know the Bears is gonna be bad for a while. So the moment the Bears is bad, boom, where they pick supposed to be, that team will take that one and still have their other first round pick. So I don't know, man. It's looking real tough on this one to decide. Plus, it was also further discussion of will he be a better option than Deshaun Watson. Me personally, they just still actually thinking about it now. I'm still deciphering whether he is a better option. Now, though, I'll put it like this. Now, Deshaun Watson is about, 6, 7 years younger than Russell Wilson. So we know he's going to be around longer. But the difference is if you match them up and they basically had the same identical type of team last year, except the fact that instead of having Hopkins matched up with DK Metcalf, it was, I think, Will Fuller and DK Metcalf. But they basically had almost the same exact team, had one good receiver. Oh boy, I'm pretty sure a lot of people say Houston he had no receivers, but he had to have some type of receiving core for him to throw over 4,000 yards. Period. And he threw for more yards than Wilson did. They both had a horrible defense. Seattle throughout the first 10, 11 games, I think, had a worse defense than the Texans. Maybe 12, 13 games they had a worse defense than the Texans before they was able to turn it around later on and go on a run where they was just stopping everybody before the playoffs hit, and then they came back to reality basically. So this is the reality for both of them. They both had the same identical teams. One quarterback throws for more yards, but one quarterback ends up winning more games. And you know who that quarterback obviously is, and that's Russell Wilson. Now, if you put it at that point, then the person that you should take is, of course, Russell Wilson, because despite the fact that Deshaun Watson was able to put up those crazy numbers, it did not translate to wins. They was about, they won 4 games this year, 4-12. Russell Wilson still getting sacked just as much as Deshaun Watson is, going through everything else that he is, but somehow the team still win 11 games. Now, it could also be the strength of schedule as well, but when it comes down to it, if you are the star quarterback, you are supposed to win games regardless. So, once again, that checklist goes to Russell Wilson. Now, up next, the next thing that will make the best choice to decipher for is experience. Russell Wilson has more experience. He's been in the league a lot longer, since 2012, and he already has Super Bowl ring, already been to 2 Super Bowls. For the most part of his career now, since the Legion of Boom was gone after his third, fourth year after that, he's really haven't had much of a defense, and still, other than 1 year where they didn't make the playoffs, but I think they still had a winning record, like 9-7 record or something like that. He's basically been a consistent quarterback, regardless of the receiving core, offensive line, running game. Since Marshawn Lynch has left, yeah, K-Signs came in and did some things later in between here and there when he's healthy. But for the most part, it hasn't been much of a running game either. So he's been basically running around for his life, and he's still been able to win multiple games, multiple seasons, as with Deshaun Watson. If he does not have at least a good defense behind him, regardless of the fact they still wind up losing games. So with that checklist, in my perspective, Russell Wilson would be the better option despite being 6-7 years older, being around 32 years old. But because the way the NFL is going now, by the time Russell Wilson hit 45, he'll still probably be able to play. So, yeah, that's a very strong chance that he could still be able to play for a very long time if he did come to the Bears, and hopefully they can improve the offensive line, improve the receiving core. And with Russell Wilson coming to Chicago, that means free agents come to Chicago, which makes the Bears a juggernaut for a long period of time. But that is only a scenario, so we're just going to have to see how that turns out for the Chicago Bears. But like I said before, the best option for Wilson, if he was to go anywhere, would be to go to the New Orleans Saints. And me as a Bears fan, even saying that out loud, going like, damn, that really sucks, because there's too many question marks with our team. It is too many question marks for the Chicago Bears. We don't if they was to bring in Wilson like immediately, like bring him in before like the free agency and everything else really kicks off, then I guarantee that Allen Robinson gonna be definitely willing to come back. And then on top of that, you could wind up bringing in another free agent receiver. And then you can let go a few of those dead leg guys like Javon Williams and possibly Anthony Miller, and then have Riley Ridley actually be out there playing. So that's basically, we can see what happens with that. But I already know who will be the best overall option. Now, the best fantasy, of course, would be him coming straight to Chicago. But the best full option, overall option that we all know, that Russell Wilson should go to New Orleans Saints. And that's me not being a hater or being pissed off or none of that shit. It's just me being real, taking my emotions out of it and just assessing it the way it is. That will be the best option for him. And if he has any goddamn sense, he already realized now, even though he listed all those possible teams and places, especially in Chicago, because he used to playing in cold weather anyway. But the best overall team to go to is already established. Unless New Orleans just turn around and say, no, we don't want you. We want Jameis Winston. Oh my God, that would be crazy if they did say that. Now that'd be funny if that happens. So I don't know, because people do and say crazy shit every goddamn day. But right now, we just don't know what's going to be happening right now. So we're just going to have to just sit back and see how this saga turns out for the Chicago Bears and other teams. But this is JONETH PIPTNE, and once again, I'm bringing to you, once again, back with another podcast. And once again, make sure you check out GlooGlock new hit single For Real. Once again, I am leaving a link in the description down below. So go to the page, like and subscribe to the page, and also just look out for more singles by GlooGlock. Alright people, peace out.